Well, hello, everybody. This is the Central Florida Computer Society and the Sarasota Technology User Group's Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSIG, for Sunday, March 10th, 2024. I'm Huey Poplock, and I'm glad you're here. And we have a good crowd to start out. We'll have some more people joining us, I'm sure. This is, as I said, the Windows SIG or WinSIG. We talk about things about Windows. We talk about things about computers in general. And I put together a list and post it on the WinSIG page of my website at huey.net/WinSIG. And you can go and you can check all of the articles we're going to cover. I did add a few in the last couple of days. So if you looked at it last week when I sent out the newsletter, you'll find that we added a few, and I put them at the beginning, actually. And it looks like I am out of sync. So somewhere in the course of this meeting, I probably will disappear for a few seconds, maybe a minute or two. It restarts and I come back. So just bear with me. Don't worry about it. I just have to remember just to leave it alone and it comes back. So I'm doing all I can to trace down the issue. It looks like it wasn't the camera after all, but we'll go from there. So let's take a look at my screen. And let's see, we're here. And we're going to minimize this for later. And we'll close this. We don't need that. And I'm going to open up Edge. The reason I like to use Edge is I do like the immersive reader. And then we're going to go to huey.net. And then go to the WinSIG folder. And these are the articles with links to the articles that we're going to try to cover today. A lot of times we don't get to the bottom of the list, but they're there. You click on any of those, it'll take you to the article. So your assignment every month is to go take a look at the ones you didn't see and any of the ones that you were interested in. And we're going to take a look. I'm not going to preload them to see if maybe that helps with the bandwidth. And I'm also going to turn off my camera and see if that helps any. So let me, let's see. I got something covering it up, so I can't do it. There we go. Let me turn my camera off for right now, and maybe that'll help me stay online a little bit longer. So the first article is Microsoft is killing off Windows subsystem. And I didn't see whether Drew was on here today or not, but he's the one that alerted me to this. And then I started looking at articles. And let's go ahead and do the immersive reader, which is here. And you should be able to see the article now, and we've taken out all of the extraneous things, including ads. Microsoft is killing off Windows subsystem for Android, and that's called WSA. If you're a Windows 11 user who fell in love with the Windows subsystem for Android, Microsoft has just delivered some bad news. The company is ending support for the WSA. Unlike Windows subsystem for Linux, Windows subsystem for Android failed to generate the mass appeal Microsoft was probably hoping for. This is likely a part of the fact that while WSA makes it possible to run Android apps and games in Windows 11, it's limited to apps available via the Amazon App Store. The clock is now ticking for Windows subsystem for Android. And then it says the announcement will soon come as a surprise to those who've embraced the Windows subsystem for Android. Well, WSA has been a little stagnant. There's been little to indicate that Microsoft had plans for deprecation. But this is precisely what is happening. An update at the top of the Windows subsystem for Android, the page says Microsoft is ending support for the Windows subsystem for Android. As a result, the Amazon App Store on Windows and all applications and games dependent on WSA will no longer be supported beginning March 5th, which 2025. So you got another year. Until then, technical support will remain available to customers. And customers who have installed the Amazon App Store or Android apps prior to March 5th, 2024 will continue to have access to those apps through the deprecation. However, it's past March 5th, so apparently you cannot install it now. If you have it, you can keep it for another year, but otherwise it's out. Now, let's go ahead and discuss this maybe if any of you want to, but I tried to install it when it first was announced and decided I couldn't make it work. And there wasn't anything in the Android apps on the Amazon store that I wanted to have on my Windows machine anyway. So I didn't find a real need for it. I was using a lot of the Android apps, of course, on my Chromebook, but on a Windows machine, I really didn't need it. And I have so many other things that I don't even use that are on Windows. Do any of you have any strong feelings about this? Does it affect you? What's your opinion on that? Anyone?
I kind of want to do Android on my phone, I think, most of the time. If anything, I'd like to use the procedures you've gone over in the past that talks about controlling your phone from Windows. And I can always run an Android app that way by seeing my phone desktop.
Yeah, and I do that. I use the phone app that's part of Windows and connects to my Samsung phone, and so I can bring my phone up on. I can look at my messages, my pictures, anything that's on my phone. I can even put the phone on the screen and simulate, or it's not really simulating, but actually run my phone, and I can actually share it with other people to show you things on my Android phone. But it is a Samsung, but it does connect, and there is a way of doing it with an iPhone as well. So you really don't need the apps. You can run them from your phone. Any other comments or questions? And hearing none kind of substantiates Microsoft's opinion that there's really not a need for it. So why support it and why have it available to where they've got to be checking and to make sure that every update they do doesn't affect it, or if it does, have to fix it. So let's go ahead and share the screen again. Let me stop my video and share screen. And so that's the article. Let's go back to the WinSIG. We'll close down the one we just did. The next one is the Microsoft has released a new Power Toys. And if you don't use Power Toys, there's some really good ones there. We'll take a look at the article and see what they've added and some of the things that they do. Waiting for the article to come up. There it is. Notice that the Power Toys version 0.79.0. In other words, it's not Power Toys version 7.9, it's version 0. And then it's .79. So that it's not really a released type of utility, but it is available and it's well done, and it is from Microsoft. Now, it feels like it's been a while since there have been any particularly dramatic changes or additions to Power Toys, but Microsoft just pushed out Power Toys version 0.79. The latest version of the Essential Utilities collection does not, unfortunately, gain any new modules this time around, but there are some significant updates to existing tools. Chief among these are updates to the keyboard manager. That means, among other things, it's now possible to create a keyboard shortcut to launch a particular application. So if I'm not sure if it's an application, but you might be able to create your own keyboard shortcut, Jim Glass, to do what you want to do. We'd have to look into that. Version 0.79 release cycle sees PowerToys development team focusing on stability improvements and new features. And this is the first release is a good start. The biggest or most important and most interesting changes are to be found in the keyboard manager. This module now includes the option to create globally accessible keyboard shortcuts for applications or URIs. The various highlights from PowerToys 79, keyboard manager, as we just mentioned, allows mapping shortcuts to start applications or opening URIs. Hang on 1 minute. New feature, keyboard manager allows shortcuts with chords, and I'm not sure what that means. A modernized color picker with fluent UX. Peak now is able to preview drives, and File Locksmith now has an entry in the Windows 11 Tier 1 context menu. If that doesn't make sense to you, you're not alone. However, if you're an expert with the keyboard with PowerToys, it should make some sense. Here are the full change log of this, and you can just go down. I'm not going to read them all. The image resizer now has units and resize modes are now localized. They tweaked and improved the user interface. As I said, the keyboard manager has quite a few things. Mouse without borders fixed an issue causing the target path string to be corrupted when registering as a service. Paste as plain text. Prevent the start menu from activating when Windows key is a part of the activation shortcut and is released sooner. Peak power rename is another one of the toys, and these are the improvements they made. PowerToys Run. Just looking to see if there's anything there. A registry preview fixed a crash when closing an application and editor's right-click menu is opened. And then change some settings in it. In their documentation, they fixed some broke links, and then there was some development. So if you can download the PowerToys from GitHub, and if you like some of the utilities that they have, they're very convenient and very nice to use. The next article that I added, so if you looked at the list when I sent out the newsletter, or you looked at it a few days ago, this wasn't there, but it's how to get the most out of Windows Copilot. And again, we'll open up the immersive reader as soon as it's ready. If you're not using Copilot, you are missing a good part of Windows and what it does today that it didn't do several months ago. Microsoft's newest AI assistant is incredibly versatile and powerful. Here's how you can leverage its capabilities. With the upcoming Windows 11 2024 update, and it's actually here, and the fact that some laptops will soon feature a Copilot key, Microsoft is going all in on AI with Copilot. It's the rebranded version of Bing Chat, now available on Windows Desktop, Microsoft Edge, and Android or iPhone. Copilot gives you access to GPT-4, AI image generation with DALL-E 3, and the ability to search the web. I do have the Copilot on my Android phone and on my iPad. Needless to say, it's one of the most powerful AI chatbots out there. And this author has been experimenting with it for a couple of weeks now and found some very interesting use cases along the way. So here are some tips, tricks, and general recommendations to make the most out of the window Copilot. Use the keyboard shortcut to quickly launch Copilot. Ditch the Copilot button. So if you want to turn that button off, you can. And if you've recently updated to 23H2, you'll notice Copilot button right next to the notification center. A lot of people, and this author included, don't like the cluttered desktop. So the first out of order of business is getting rid of that button. You can launch Copilot with Windows key plus the C shortcut instead. So the button isn't that important anyway. So to get Copilot, it's Windows key and the C key at the same time. And let's see, they have a picture here how you can remove the Copilot button from the taskbar. Jim, this is what I was talking about earlier. So you go to the taskbar, and under personalization taskbar, you'll see it says Copilot and it's turned on. With the 23H2 update, Microsoft also disabled the show desktop button that lived on the right corner of the taskbar. To enable it, go to the same page above the expand the taskbar behaviors area, and then tick the box that says select the far corner of the taskbar to show the desktop. So let's come back up here. And let's see, is it here? System tray, keyboard. I don't see where they're saying that. This has to do.
Go down to behavior of the taskbar. Last bar. Yeah, behaviors. Click that.
Well, this is just a photo.
Okay, well, that's what you'd click.
You click this, and they may have another screenshot on it. Let's see if they do. No, I guess they don't. But well, that's what you click on. You click on the taskbar behaviors. It's a drop down, and you can then put back the button. Is that correct?
There's 5 or 6 options, and I think it's number 5 that you have to turn on to get that feature back.
Okay, let's see if we can take a look at this. Personalization taskbar, and we come down here to taskbar behaviors. There's a drop down here. Automatically hide the taskbar. If I click that, it'll bring it back, I believe. Or did it just, now I don't have a taskbar. Let's yeah.
7th button down.
There it is. Now if I move it, no, it's still, I still have to turn something off, don't I? Let's go ahead and where to go now? Alt tab.
I was wrong. It's the in that list, it's the 6th button.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6 is blank right there. Select a far corner. Show the desk.
Oh, and I don't, that I clicked on automatically hide the taskbar, and I don't want that. So there we go. So now there is room here. If I move my mouse way over to the end, it says show desktop. Hopefully you can see that on your screen. But it now puts it back there. So you don't even have to turn off the Copilot in that corner just by clicking on that one. Select the far corner of the taskbar to show the desktop. It will then reappear there. Okay, good. Any questions or comments on that?
Yeah, if you do that, will the co-pilot icon still be on the taskbar, some other position?
No, it'll be right where it was, but it'll be moved over just a hair.
I haven't found yet, and I'm looking for being able to move Copilot from that corner back to I think it's the third button or fourth button on the taskbar.
Yeah, I believe Bob G did a video on how to do that. As I recall, I watched the video and I think he did that. So I believe there is a way. Let's see, with the Microsoft disabled, okay, we just talked about that. Select the far corner of the taskbar to show the desktop. You can now click the bottom right corner of your screen at any time to show the desktop. So I've got it now that I can do that just by coming over here in the corner, and then the Copilot is right next to it. Upload images or screenshots, visual problem solving. Complicated error codes can be all too common with Windows. The next time one of these error codes ever pops up, you can just use Copilot's built-in screenshot tool and ask the chatbot about it. So instead of having to do a copy, write down all of the information and then put it in a message or into Google to find out what it is, or to take a screenshot of it and then save it and then bring it back in and try to find out what the message is and then write it out or type it out. You can do a screenshot. Just click the add a screenshot button, select the area of your screen you want to capture and click done. Ask your question related to the image and hit send. So this is what it will look like. You'll see that the error message is there. Then Copilot, what is the error code and how can I fix it? Explain shortly, please, is what you write. And you have the screenshot of the error message, and then Copilot will come back and tell you about that error message. Yesterday, when I discovered that I didn't have Bluetooth anymore, I started asking Copilot all kinds of questions on where settings were for it, and it gave me all kinds of information. I went out and I tried everything, and I think my Bluetooth information connection, or whatever it's called, on my motherboard is dead. And so I ordered a transmitter to put into my USB hub, and that should be here today. So I'll get that back. So that's why I don't have any headset on. I have to use my speakers because my headsets are Bluetooth. So anyway, you can get your error messages just by doing a screen capture now directly from Copilot. I think that's a real good reason to use Copilot. Of course, you can just use the screenshot tool for a variety of other purposes. Stuck on some math homework, just take a screenshot and ask Copilot to explain it to you. You can also upload older images from your computer, so taking a screenshot isn't always necessary. Copilot's ability to decipher information from an image works quite well, and I rarely noticed it making any mistakes. This was according to the author of the article. One of the things I have done was to do a screenshot of something that I had and just put it in Copilot and tell it to explain it to me. You know, what's going on? What does it mean? Or I was on Facebook and they had a riddle, and I just did a screen cap shot of the riddle and asked Copilot, what's the answer? And it gave it to me. A troubleshooting assistant. This is one a bit more niche, but it works surprisingly well if you don't want to dig around the settings menu within Windows 11 to change something simple. You can just ask Copilot to do it for you. For example, if you want to turn on the dark mode, just type enable dark mode into Copilot and hit send. The chat pilot will ask you for confirmation and click yes to make the change. So you don't have to fumble around and find where that change is. You can do it right from Copilot. As you can guess, you can use this for a variety of different things, such as enabling and disabling Bluetooth. I tried enabling it and it couldn't find it. So that didn't work for me. Activating do not disturb mode, muting system sounds, start focus sessions, and more. Sometimes it's quicker to do these things on your own, but if we're getting nearer to a future where settings app rarely needs to be launched, I'm for it. You can also use Copilot to quickly launch certain applications. For instance, open Steam, submit the prompt, let Copilot launch Steam for you. Again, this can be a bit slower than just doing it yourself, but it works nonetheless. Talk to Copilot with your voice. A lot of AI chatbots now feature voice support, meaning you can use your microphone to ask questions and talk to them without typing a single letter. Both Google Gemini and ChatGPT support this feature. And Windows Copilot is no different. To be fair, it's a bit buggy and inconsistent right now, but it does work in a pinch. To use voice input, just click on the little mic button in the text box and start talking. You don't have to necessarily have to hit the send button either, as Copilot will automatically detect when you stop talking and hit send for you. When using the voice input, Copilot will read the response as soon as it finishes writing it. For those who suffer from mobility issues, this is an accessibility feature that's worth appreciating. And I'm not sure if what it's saying there, that it actually reads it back to you, so you hear the answer instead of having to read it, or whether it sends it to you and you have to read it. But I did see, and I was trying to track down what AI app does it, but one of them where you can ask a question in a generative AI utility or app, and it will answer you back vocally, so you hear it. And then when you do a follow-up question, so it's what Miss A should be on the Amazon product. It's doing the same thing, but it's doing it as a chat. And so I think eventually that's what we're going to see with Miss A and the Google devices and any others that are out there. They're going to be able to do that for us, or there'll be a different version of it. A supercharged Copilot with plugins. So there's some plugins you can get now. And then you can summarize web pages in Microsoft Edge. And again, this is all through Copilot. You can organize your Edge tabs into tab groups. Let's see what other is in this article. This works surprisingly well. Generate images in different styles with DALL-E, going beyond text responses. So this is a really good article, and that you might want to take a look at it and bookmark it or put it in your list of must look at and follow up. So Copilot has a lot of potential. So I think that was a really good article. And let's stop the share here for a moment and see if you guys have anything you want to talk about as far as Copilot goes. Comments, anybody?
I'm really interested in it because I'm losing my vision, and being able to use your voice to do things and to control the computer is going to be really a blessing.
Absolutely. Steve Parker, you have your hand up.
Yeah, can I just go back one when you were talking about the Power Toys?
Sure.
What version do you have installed right now?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't have it running, and because of the fact that I have these issues with Zoom, I don't want to go out to it.
Okay, because I just went through the update thing to get to the 0.79, and it's not entirely intuitive as to how to update the thing. There's
I
a
think
couple of menus you got to go through in order to get to it.
I think you go to GitHub and you download it, and you then
I tried that. There isn't anything to do it with that.
No, you just open up Power Toys, and under the general, it should give you a message there. An update is available. You have to click on the bar of the update, and it'll download and install it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, mine was in the upper right-hand corner of Power Toys.
Okay, good. Diane, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I had a question about tabs. You didn't go over that. Does anybody have any experience with tabs in Edge? Because I use Google too, and tabs sometimes groups. I like to use that, and if you shut your computer down, sometimes they won't come back. You can always restore. But is Edge tabs any better?
I don't know. I know Ron's doing something on Google tabs tomorrow
Oh, good. Okay.
on Chrome tabs, I believe tomorrow on Tech for Senior, but I don't, I don't do much. The fact I have a lot of tabs open and I go back and forth between them, but I don't do a lot of organizing and saving them. The only ones I save is when I open up my browser, and I use Brave. I have the same 4 tabs always open, and then I just add more or use them.
Okay, well, I like to use the groups. I can group it into different things, and I'll leave them open, which forces me to leave my computer on. And then when I have to reboot, sometimes it messes everything up.
I have a feeling you might want to, depending upon which browser you use, which one do you use?
The most right now, I'm still using Google because I just feel comfortable with it, but I'm starting to use Edge more. I've got my Windows 10 in front of
Yeah,
me and my
they-
Windows 11 right here.
They may be handling tabs differently.
Okay,
So
Thank
we'll find out about the Chrome tabs tomorrow.
all right, I'll be there.
All right, Mike, you have your hand up.
Yeah, getting back to Copilot, since I'm using Windows 10, I don't have it, as an option in the operating system itself. But Bing now uses Copilot, and when you go to search its AI function, it actually has been rebranded as Copilot. And I'm just curious if the Copilot that's in the Bing AI and the Bing search is the same Copilot in terms of the logic as the one that's incorporated in the Windows 11 operating system.
I have
believe
found it to be the same because I use it in both.
And you get the same answer in both?
Yep.
Okay.
I think when they're given the answers, they have a supersized database of information, and it's common to either OS's Copilot and other search engines as well. So usually you'll get the same answer. It also depends. A lot of what I do as a tech, I want precision answers. I don't want balance, and I don't want creative.
Now, how do you make it give you that? Do you use something in your prompts?
In the prompt for like Copilot, I'm in Copilot right now trying to debug a problem, and I've had several others in hardware that I've been debugging. Even under Linux, I have Edge, and I'm using the Copilot. But bottom line is, all the AIs have a massive database that they call out the information to answer your question and give you some of the answers. And that's why you have to have a massive supercomputer with lots of power, memory, and most of all, storage. That's why you have to use the internet to use the most of the AI features.
So you don't have to have it locally on your machine, correct?
Well, local will only work with some of your applications as it's being added in, like Microsoft Paint will give you some capability, but usually it requires you to be online. If you're not online, you may be severely limited what you can do with the AI feature.
Okay, any other comments? There is one in the chat going back to Power Toys. Marilyn asked, what are the most popular Power Toys people use now? Steve, what are some of the ones you use? Tim, what are some of the ones you use?
Well, I used to use the OCR a lot, but in 11, I don't have to use it. It's built into the snipping tool. But if I choose to do so, I can still use the OCR one. It's a text from pictures option. And there's a couple others I'll use every now and then, but that's most of it for me.
And the text from pictures means if there's text in a picture, you can then copy and then paste that into something else as text. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's OCR reading.
Yeah.
Use some image, say on some of these articles here, you want to copy the title of that article. It may be incorporated into a picture, so you can't do it directly. You use the text from a picture to highlight that text image, copy out what it did, and paste it into like a Word or other word processor, even old WordPad, and you paste it in there, and you got perfect text.
Yeah. I use
What do you-
STUG as a screen capture program, and it has the ability also to lift text from a picture, and it does a very good job of it, and I use it quite often.
Google Lens does the same thing.
Yeah, so there are different ways to do that. Yep.
It's
Diane,
Windows Shift T, I think, is the one that brings up the text interpreter. But is there a way to get it to come up without having to have PowerToys started and loaded? Because you're able to do it without having to load PowerToys to get the resize, image resizer can work right off the Windows Explorer
Well,
without having to start up PowerToys.
once you have PowerToys running, okay, on your system, because it may not be automatically running, once it's running, every one of those applications has a shortcut key associated with it. You just have to remember what the shortcut key is. I think for the text from image was
Windows Shift T,
Windows key Shift T.
yes. But with the resize one, there isn't a shortcut key. All you do is you go to whatever image and you drag, and it'll come up with a context menu saying, do you want to resize it and to what size?
You may be able to add your own shortcut key.
No, I don't need a shortcut key for resize. It works fine just as it is, and you don't have to start up PowerToys.
Well, I'm saying the PowerToys has to be running for any of its shortcut keys to work. Some of them you can change the shortcut key so that you have something you remember easily to launch that feature.
yeah, the problem I have
Yeah,
is there's so many shortcut keys and so many different programs that sometimes they conflict. And so you've got to be careful there too. Diane, I'll be with you in just a minute, but Bob said in the chat, you can open Word and load an image in it and turn it into text, the same with a PDF file. So Word, you can open up a file, a PDF file with Word, and it will convert the entire document into a Word document, usually quite well. But I didn't know it could also do an image to text, but I'll have to play with that. Diane, you have your hand up now.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I may be the only one interested in tabs, but I did that. I followed the instructions there in your article, and that was so neat. I had a bunch of tabs open, and I just clicked Copilot on the right-hand corner and said organize my tabs, and it did it. It named the tab groups and everything.
Great. All right, so it was worth the price of the meeting, right?
That's right, always. Thank you.
All right, glad we solved your problem for you. Any other comments before we go back? We're only on the third article. All right, let me share my screen again. But that's the whole idea of this is we just talk about different things and sometimes the discussion goes wherever it goes. Okay, the next one is Windows 11 feature drop adds even more AI to your PC. Let's take a look at that. Come on. Well, while it's loading, I'm trying not to make this show, it's still a Windows SIG, it's not an AI SIG. And so I'm trying not to just do AI. And sometimes it's difficult because I read so much AI stuff in the course of the month. But I do have an Let's Talk AI on the fourth Friday of every month. If you're interested in that, drop me an email at huey@huey.net and I will send you the link and sign you up for access to that. And if I ever get enough time to complete it, I'm going to put up where you can register automatically and I don't have to keep.
Huey, I clicked on that same thing you're trying to get into, and it came up immediately, so you might try again.
Yeah, and he's locked up. It looks like you may have to close and reopen, Huey. If you can hear me. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Okay, we'll keep this alive while Huey is coming back. Stan is the host. And I just put into chat, if you want to register with Huey for his Let's Talk AI, send him an email to huey@huey.net. That's the fourth Friday of each month.
So it may not be his graphics drivers at all that's causing it to lock up then, since he had his camera off.
He's changed a lot of different things, including using a completely new account on his same computer.
And it eventually had the same problem.
Yeah, eventually it got to that, but it sounds like he's got a memory leak. If you'll remember, we had a lot of applications in the past that the longer you used them, the less memory you had available to your computer to run, and it would eventually lock up.
Yeah.
That sounds like what's happening. And then he has in his mini computer called a NUC. It's Intel based, and if I remember correctly, it has NVIDIA video processing, but he doesn't have a separate video card. And we discussed the possibility of putting an external USB video processor, but they're not as fast and they don't contain as much memory. And it's
Well,
not,
it'd be better than what's on the NUC anyway.
yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I used to have one. It was a display link that gave me 4K capability on a 4K monitor, where the laptop wasn't able to produce 4K.
Well, typically, especially with the folks that are here now, most of you have seen that we have backgrounds. I've got a virtual background showing right now of a very nice sunroom up in Maine at my cousin's home. And a lot of people will ask, okay, how do I put a virtual background on my computer? And a lot of people can't because they don't have the video processing in their basic computer that gives them enough memory for Zoom to be able to use a virtual background. And that uses memory anyway, uses display memory. So I have, for example, what I consider a pretty powerful notebook running Linux with Zoom on it, but I can't put a virtual background up because the video processing isn't good enough. And I've got an older Windows notebook, and I can't put a virtual background up. Can't even blur my background. So it shows you the interaction between many software programs and a good video card, which is not just for gamers who want to build a gaming machine, but actually handling a lot of the tasks.
The chat you said you put in there is not in there. This is not coming up on me.
Yeah.
You said you put a chat in there to HueyNet. It's not there.
Oh,
Not in
yeah.
my chat.
Oh, I said, oh, you're right. Okay, it went to Joel Sandberg. My apologies. Let me just change the direct net. Redo that to everyone in the meeting. Sorry. I had
Oh,
been
yep,
chatting
yep,
with,
there it is. I got
I've
it.
been chatting with Joel. Yep. Okay.
Any sign of Huey yet?
No, not yet. I hope it didn't completely crash on him. I guess I could bring up his, let me just see if I've got it. I'll move
You
the,
may have to check to see if his backups are restorable sometime soon.
well, I'm gonna go to HueyNet and go to News and Reviews, WinSIG, items for March. Go back to share my screen. Okay, take the meeting chat and minimize it.
He seems to be back now.
Okay,
Yeah, there he is.
are you with us, Huey? It's, audio hasn't popped back in yet. I'll share my screen while we're waiting.
There we go.
Are we back?
I'm back.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, we filled in a little bit of the time anyway.
All right,
got
thank
it.
you. I
Yep.
tried to get back in using Brave and it wasn't working. I tried not Explorer, Edge, and I had some trouble. I thought I was going to have to reboot, but it finally connected. So let's go ahead and I'll share my screen again. And bring up Edge. I am in Edge. Let's go ahead and, whoops, yeah, not mail. I don't want mail. There we go. Well, it looks like I am connecting. I was having trouble. Nothing was connecting, and then all of a sudden, everything dropped out.
And we think you've got a memory leak somewhere, but we're not quite sure where it's coming.
Yeah, and so is my computer. As I see it now, WinSIG. There we go. And I was trying to get to this one. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's, as soon as it loads, we'll go ahead and do the immersive reader. And Microsoft's new Windows 11 feature drop arrives with more AI features for Copilot and needed changes to the widgets board. I'm not going to go through this, a lot of it. We just covered with talking about Copilot and some of the things it can do. But it does list some of the things you can do from Copilot now. You can turn on and off your battery saver if you got a laptop. Show device information, show system information, show battery information, just by telling Copilot to do these things. Open storage page, launch live captions, launch narrator, launch screen magnifier, open voice access page, and so on, just moving down here. And then Windows 11 becomes DMA compliant. Last month, Microsoft announced it would be changing Windows 11 to comply with the Digital Markets Act in countries that fall under the European Economic Area. Today's feature drop includes these changes. However, they may not be enabled for everyone yet. As a refresher, here are the changes coming to Windows 11 to comply with the DMA. Ability to uninstall Bing from Windows Search. ability to replace Bing and Windows search with a third-party search provider, ability to uninstall Microsoft Edge, and the ability to disable or replace the news feed and widgets with a third-party provider. And then how to get Windows 11 February feature drop, and it tells you how to do the update and get the latest updates as soon as they're available. Turn that on. And then to download today's update, whatever date this was, ensure that get the latest updates as soon as they're available, toggle on. So let's go back here and look at what's in the update. All of the updates have a KB or knowledge base and then a number. When you install it, it will tell you which knowledge base page that you have updated. And it tells you, and then it goes on and it tells you new dates for the end of non-security updates. And it tells you all of the things that are available in this update. So whenever you do an update, get the knowledge base number and do a search for it. And then you can find out exactly what was updated. Because a lot of times you may find an article about it. The article may not tell you everything. And then also Microsoft may not have told you what it will do or not do. So it's a good idea to look at the knowledge base. And then it also says known issues with this update. So if you're having some certain symptoms, if they are listed here, it tells you a workaround. And all of this is directly from Microsoft. And then it tells you how to get the update and then how to install it. If it should be simple, you should be able to do it directly from your Windows update. But if you have some problems, take a look at the KB number and that it's trying to update, or it did update. And then it'll tell you this was on February 29th that this update was done. And it tells you which version. So let's close that. We'll close this. And Windows 11, the update 23H2 is going to be installed automatically on older systems. So I'll let you read that on your own if you've got an older system. Microsoft finally fixing most annoying parts of the Windows update. And what that is telling us that a lot of times during the updates, you have to reboot sometimes 2 or 3 times. And what they're going to try to do is do the entire update and then you do one reboot. So it's almost restartless updates are coming to Windows 11. That's what this article is about. Microsoft, let's see, that's it. Windows 11 may block devices without SSE 4.2 support. So if you have a problem, you might want to look at that article. Okay, so we're going to get away from Windows a little bit, but this is a Windows computer. And I want to know what your thoughts are on this. The Lenovo is coming out with a ThinkBook with a transparent screen where you can see right through the screen. Lenovo is a firm believer in creating and announcing fistful of new devices at the big tech shows, and it did. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go to the immersive reader so you can see it. And there's what it looks like. And it's a transparent, so you can see something behind it. Now, my question is, why? Would you think that a transparent display is important? This laptop revolutionizes the interaction and creation experience with its remarkable 17.3-inch micro LED transparent display with a borderless screen, transparent keyboard area, and a seemingly floating footpad design. It effortlessly exudes a sense of high-tech simplicity, elevating the user's overall experience. And the article goes on, and it's this is without the transparent screen, and they have some other models coming out. But what I want to ask you is, why in the world would anybody need or want a transparent laptop? What do you think? What do you think of that? Is it something that you might consider? Let's
Yeah,
go ahead.
it's a solution that they came up with. Now they just have to find a problem for it.
Yep, or a reason for it. That's my take on it as well. We did see some televisions like that, and that's probably not a bad idea because you can see what else is going on. You can have your TV in the center of the room. You don't have to have it against the wall and see what's going on behind it. But as far as a laptop with that kind of a screen, I don't see a plus to it. Does anyone think that that's something that they would consider buying?
Who was it that came up with it? Sounds like something Sony would have done.
No, it is Lenovo.
Yeah.
And Lenovo is a company that bought all the IBM, so they're what's the IBM ThinkPad? So it's a ThinkPad. Let's see, somebody did put something in the chat. Let me open that up here. I can't imagine Murray says, I can't imagine why I would ever want a transparent screen, especially if it increased the cost. And I'm sure it will. But, for
Well,
it
they
being,
probably did it because they could, not because it made any sense to do it.
I think it would just be something unique. If you're out in public a lot with your laptop, it might be something for people to look over and say, what's that? I can remember when people had some of the first iPhones, people would always want to take a look at it if you had it out in public. So maybe that's what they want to do with this. Other than that, I don't see any advantage to it at all. But it's new technology, and there might be somewhere down the road there may be a reason for having it, but I don't see one.
It would be good for spies if you need to be paranoid about what's around you.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
the one thing that I can think of is like somebody doing like the Tech for Seniors show, where we've got a video on the screen, and if we want to see past it, we might be able to put the script that we want to read behind it. And I don't know whether you'd be able to read it or not if the whole screen was taken. How much transparency is there? You'd have to check and see. But that might be something where you could have your script behind the screen. So you're looking at the screen, you're reading it right from the screen, but you're looking into the screen, you're seeing what's on the screen, but the script is behind it and the people don't see it. So that's the only thing that I can figure out might work. So anyway, so I wanted to share that with you and get your thoughts on it. So let's go ahead and share again. Let's see, share sound, but I don't know whether I need to. And so that's the Lenovo. And we're back here. And you should buy dual monitors. Oh, there's two articles here. And one is called "You Should Buy Dual Monitors Instead of an Ultra Wide for These 4 Reasons." And the next article is 4 Reasons I Went for an Ultra Wide Monitor and I'll Never Go Back. So if you're thinking of having dual monitors or buying one of the ultra wide monitors, and I'm just going to bring up the article so you can see what I'm talking about, an ultra wide monitor. I'm not going to go into these articles, but if you're thinking of doing this, you might want to take a look. Let's see. This is an ultra wide monitor, I guess. No, the pictures aren't worth anything. There's one of the ultra wide monitors. It's about it's one monitor about twice the size of a regular monitor.
Does it say what the maximum height resolution is?
No.
All the ultra wide ones that I saw, I think were 1440 was the highest.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll let you go out and read the articles.
You can get a 4K on it.
Yeah, here's two monitors, and here's 2 monitors, and 2 monitors. Do they show a picture of the ultra wide? No. They don't really show, yeah, there it is. And open in a new tab. So that's what the ultra wide would be. They're not real tall, so it's a different format entirely, but it's basically it looks like it's about the size of 2 large monitors side by side, but it's one continuous monitor.
It'd be great for Adobe Audition. Editing audio files would be a lot easier on that.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's a picture of a city in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're interested in either having 2 monitors, I do have 2 monitors, but they're not side by side. They're actually perpendicular to each other. But if you want 2, do you want 2 monitors or do you want an ultra wide? And there's different reasons for having each, and there's an article for each to decide which one is best.
Yeah, I've got to do a lot of work on Teams with remote support. And I've got one client who has one of those ultra wide monitors. And when he opens that on Teams, all you can see is a little teeny, the actual program you're looking at is just like a little thumbnail in the middle of the screen. Makes it very difficult to see what he's doing to help him.
Okay, this article is, and you're going to see more and more of this during the year, but they're starting to come out now and saying that they're an AI PC. So what is an AI PC, or an artificial intelligence PC? What will your PC look like when it's infused with AI? And what's the Intel advantage? This is from Intel, so it's from their point of view. Chances are, if you ask 10 different people what's an AI PC, you'll get 10 different answers. Well, if they're computer people, you get about 20 different answers. But that's true of the early days of any pivotal piece of technology. It's hard to peer into the future and imagine what the world will look like. At Intel Innovation in September 2023, Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger compared artificial intelligence and its impact on the PC to its Wi-Fi impact on connectivity. The AI PC will be a sea change moment in technical innovation, reminding them that the Centrino platform was what broke open the Wi-Fi back in 2003. Ready to lead the charge for AI PC is Intel Core Ultra, Intel's first PC platform to feature a built-in neural processing unit, or NPU, introduced in December of 2023. So this is all new technology. This dedicated AI engine offers power-efficient AI acceleration and local inference on the PC. That's the how of AI in your PC. If you're a little less clear on the what, you're not alone. That's where working side by side with the engineers architecting the future has its perk. So this is the writer saying this. I caught up with Caitlin Anderson, Vice President of Sales and Marketing Group and General Manager of the Client Computing Group category, and Robert Hollick, Senior Director of Client Technology Marketing in the Client Computing Group, what a title that is, to ask some basic questions and some not so basic questions about the AI PC. So what is an AI PC, or what he says, look, Ma, no cloud. An AI PC has a CPU, a GPU with a graphics processing unit, and an NPU, which is a neural processing unit, each with specific AI acceleration capabilities. An NPU, or neural processing unit, is a specialized accelerator that handles artificial intelligence and machine learning tasks right on your PC instead of sending the data to be processed in the cloud. The GPU and CPU can also process these workloads, but the NPU is especially good at low power AI calculations. The AI PC represents a fundamental shift in how our computers operate. It's not a solution for a problem that didn't exist before. Instead, it promises to be a huge improvement for everyday PC usages. So how does it work? Compared to the generative AI and massive large language models, LLMs, trained on tons of public data, the AI that will happen on your PC is more accessible on pretty much every level. The concept is easier to digest because it's trained on your data without needing to access the cloud. The benefits are more immediately appealing to a broader population. In the near term, the AI PC world involves personal assistants and small AI models running directly on your PC, using your data to offer personal, private, and more secure AI enhancements for things you already do every day. Taking meeting minutes, organizing a fantasy football league, automating enhancements for photo and video editing, or laying out the perfect itinerary for a family reunion based on everyone's arrival and departure times. Would you like apps with that? The software makers like Adobe and Zoom look to AI to enable increasingly advanced features. And the demand for more powerful hardware increases. So as the hardware becomes more capable, there's more room for software innovation. So those of you who don't like change, it's going to be a lot of change. And a lot of things you want to do, you're going to have the latest technology, which is this AI infused PC. The AI software is a different type of software from conventional applications. It's different algorithms and different types of execution on the CPU. Intel is working with software vendors and original equipment manufacturers, or OEMs, to help them make the most of AI capabilities into the Intel Core Ultra processors. And of course, there's AMD and there's other chips out there. So they're not Intel's not the only company doing this. As part of the AI acceleration program, dedicated Intel teams provide assistance from general guidance to engineering resources and so on. So the last paragraph says, I recently saw AI create an entire PowerPoint from nothing, Alex said, as a jumping off point, not having to decide how many slides you need, what order they should go in, or how they should be laid out or broken down. It removes the blank page as the start of a project and helps you get to work faster. So you're going to start seeing, let's go ahead and stop the share for a moment as we talk. You're going to start seeing new PCs saying they're AI PCs. They're going to have the beginning of some of these new pieces of equipment. But as the year progresses, you're going to see more and more updates to the type of equipment, because it's as quick as AI is moving ahead, so is going to be the AI hardware as well as the software. So if you're going to buy one of the first AI PCs, you're going to find very quickly they'll be outdated and you'll have to buy another one, maybe the end of the year or sometime next year. It's going to be like phones. They're going to be updating so quickly that you're going to have to update more often. And of course, they're going to be more expensive than regular PCs because they're going to have new technology in them. So what do you think about an AI PC? Is it something you need? Let's face it, if you have a lot of data on your computer and need to access and find things in your computer, the AI is going to work out very well. But if you're just going to Facebook and you're just doing email, Chromebook might be your answer. You may not need AI and an AI PC. So what are your thoughts? Anybody?
I think you pretty much pointed it out. The advancement of technology, especially the implementation of the new technology, you're going to be outdated as soon as you buy what you buy. I mean, that happens even in things like you buy the latest television set and in 90 days, the new models come out and you say, darn, I wish I had waited 90 days before I bought that. So, and prices too. The price of the new AI machines have got to be up there to cover their development costs. So I would wait at least until, if something came out this spring, I would wait at least until Black Friday, Cyber Monday to see, if they had dropped significantly.
Any
You
other
also
comment?
you also have to have the income to keep up with the technology. If you don't have the money, why bother?
I
Well,
don't.
They
know what-
figure it out with all kinds of financing and enhancements. So
I don't think the majority of the public using computing devices are going to get much more than what they get out of current devices with AI. I think most of this advanced stuff is probably going to be targeted more towards businesses, and they have a lot of creativity needs to solve business problems. And I think that's where the niche is going to be.
Good point. Any other comments? I'm wondering, are any of you considering buying a new PC? And are you considering waiting until some of these AI PCs are out there to do that? Or are you ready to buy when you can find the model that you like?
Well, that sort of idea has been around since computers started. If you waited until the best, fastest computer came out, you'd never buy one.
That's for sure.
I read an article once that said that every 6 months there's a major change in technology. So
easily.
I would never buy something when it first comes out. I'd wait at least a year while I work the bugs out.
But the technology, especially with AI, is going so fast that what's out there today tomorrow is changed. And so that's why I recommend people not to subscribe to some of these services with a 1-year payment, because yeah, it's a lot cheaper per month, but in 3 months that may be outdated. It may not, and there may be something a lot better out there to do the same things and more than what you want. So yeah, things are changing so rapidly that no matter when you buy something, within a very short time, it's out of date, or you're behind what's out there. But as software is updating the needs to do a lot of things you might want to do, you may be forced to buy a newer computer, where some of you are staying with the old computer that you're running Windows 10 on that won't go to Windows 11. You may be eventually you're going to have to get a new computer, and it will have Windows 11 or 11A or 12, Windows 12 or whatever it is a year from now, because your hardware just won't support most of the software, just the everyday software that you want to use. So
Yes, it's all for gamers and virtual reality. Those
Yeah.
are people that are going to buy them.
And as Tim knows, there's alternate operating systems. The only thing that's keeping me right now from this computer I'm on right now being on Linux is the fact that I have to have Windows for a couple programs, including my accounting program. I'm stuck with it. And I don't know that they're ever going to come out with a Linux or 100% online accounting program.
and you
So-
might want to have a dedicated program just for your accounting and do everything else on a different computer. So
Yeah, or put a virtual machine and I'll load the virtual machine only.
there's a lot of workarounds, or have a Chromebook to do some things and have a Linux machine to do others, and have a PC to do something else. And then you're going to have an Android phone and maybe an iPad. So then if you got all those operating systems to get confused switching from one to the other. So yeah, it's a lot of fun out there. Let me just do one more sharing here, just to make sure that there's not something that so I can just cover the topics without going to the articles, because we pretty much used our time up. So Let's see here, share. And come back here. So what we're starting here, Amazon's new home internet service gets FCC approval, starting mass testing. This is an article about the Amazon Kuiper, which is in competition to Elon Musk's Starlink. It is a satellite-based network. And they're in the process now of trying different dishes in different parts of the country, and they're trying all different ones to decide on which one they're going to use. They've already got some satellites up there, so they're also testing the service. So it'll be interesting. And I also saw an article today from Hughes satellite network, which has been around forever. They've now increased their speeds, and they're advertising 100 gigabits, 100, let's see, yeah, 100 gigabits per, not 100 gigabits, 100 megabits per second download. They don't say what the upload is, but it's a lot faster than it used to be. It used to be very, very slow. And the pricing of it's competitive, but again, you have to have one of their dishes. And I was reading that you're responsible for the maintenance, unless you have a maintenance contract. But the maintenance contract, I noticed, doesn't include things like tornadoes and hurricanes and windstorms and hail. So if you get any of that, you've got to pay. That's not covered. So you better have your insurance covering that. And so Hughes, you got to be careful with Hughes, but it's available as well. So if you have trouble connecting to the internet from your home or from your summer home, you might want to consider either something like Starlink or for Kuiper, or even the Hughes network, now that they've at least increased their speed. Solving your biggest internet tech problems working from home is the next article. And then Blue Sky. Is there anyone here that's using Blue Sky? Just speak up so I don't have to anybody?
What is
What is it?
It's the answer to the whole left by Twitter losing a lot of its people. It was started by Dorsey, the fellow that started Twitter, and it's supposed to be fixing all of the things that Elon Musk broke in Twitter and that were broke before he got it as well. I have set up an account, but I don't know anybody there, so I don't even use it. I don't even look at it. If you don't use Twitter, you don't have a reason to have Blue Sky either. Tyler Perry halts an $800 million studio expansion because of AI and the Sora. And if you haven't seen what Sora is, do a search on it. It's from Google, and it's amazing what they're doing with video. It hasn't been released yet. They do have some videos that show what it looks like. And then Google says AI will help defenders more than the hackers. So we do have a chance to at least stop some of the hackers. And then 2 well-known restaurant brands to share dining spaces. And you're going to see probably more of that sort of thing. Let me just go to that article. I thought it was just an interesting article that what they're doing. I've seen it with different stores, like my local Walmart has a Subway in it, and had a McDonald's before and so on. But this is where 2 well-known restaurant brands may soon combine forces and share the dining spaces. Let's go ahead and look at the immersive on this, because these 2 restaurants are so different and then share the same space. But what they're able to do is share the same kitchen and then have basically 2 spaces. Come on. There we go. And what it is Applebee's and IHOP. I haven't gone to an IHOP in a long time. I just have not. Well, I'm not going to go into it why I don't, but I do like Applebee's. But 8 such restaurants already exist in other countries where Dine Brands operates, including Canada, Kuwait, Mexico, and the United Arab Emirates. And it's going to be coming to the U.S. But the signs will look like this. And let's see, I guess that's the only picture they have. But they're going to be in the same building. The company's intention to bring the concept, let's see, it's been successful in Mexico. And let's see if it says anything about how it works. I've read a few articles about this. It's an innovation we're nurturing overseas and our intent eventually to bring it to the US.
Same sort of thing they have with Wendy's and Tim Hortons, the burger and a coffee shop together.
Okay, and what is the other?
They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, there's a couple other companies that do the same thing, but
There's KFC and Taco Bell.
yeah. Making them appear side by side restaurants with loosely defined dining areas. Would also have separate entrances. At breakfast, where there are more IHOP customers can be seated in the Applebee's area and vice versa at dinner. So it's interesting. Such concept are far from foreign to American consumers, as we were just saying. Cinnabon and Auntie Anne's or Taco Bell and Pizza Hut are sharing the same retail spaces. So yeah, so it's coming. You're going to see more of it. And I just I thought it was an interesting article that I'd throw in for just an extra. And with that, I am going to, let's see, I got to do this and say this has been the Central Florida Computer Society and Sarasota Technology User Group, WinSIG or Windows Special Interest Group, for Sunday, March 10th, 2024. Thanks for joining. Stay tuned for the main meeting of CFCS and a final discussion of the WinSIG. So let's stop the share. And any final comments from any of you? And Stan, before we do take any final comments, what's the itinerary for the main meeting? So maybe they'll stick around.
I can speak for, oh, there he comes. Go ahead, Stan.
Well, we're going to start with the discussion that Mike is going to present with recent technical items that he's posted on the Discord bulletin board that is available for all. And Mike, if you're ready, just,
let me finish up with the text or with the Windows 6 first, and then I'll turn it over to you, Stan. Any final comments from anyone on anything we discussed today or anything about Microsoft Windows? Thank you for joining. It's been a lot of fun. I think we covered some good articles and some good topics, and hopefully you've learned some things. So I am going to stop the recording and then I'll start it again, Stan. So let me do that first.